fancy countdown. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Beescast Live, presented by Fieldwork. I'm Casey Pratt, joined by Ballers assistant GM Tyler Petersen. You know, sometimes when we hit go live, there's like this awkward moment between the intro video and the video actually going live. So I hit the countdown button instead. I worked really hard on that, Tyler.
We've thought this through today. I've also actually I was watching that intro more closely, and a lot of good faces from that 23 season that I was looking through. I saw Colton Horner, Brad Burkell, a couple of guys that make me think back to a long time ago. It feels like in my body clock, but really not that long ago when we first launched this thing 2 years ago.
Yeah, that is a lot of time for us, because obviously this is just the second season. You may notice I'm wearing my Lucky Ballers jersey that I wore for all 3 games of the championship that I never watched until the season ended. And I broke it out today because I saw Gary Payton, the glove, actually wearing this at an event while I was scrolling through Instagram. And I thought that was really cool because the glove was showing us love.
Nice. Well, I watched GP2 last night and the Warriors won.
Yeah, no, the Warriors look pretty awesome, actually. On pace to only lose 1 game this year. Let's hope.
That'd be great.
All right, let's jump right into this. A lot to talk about. We are going to go live on Beescast Live every Tuesday. Me and Tyler are fully committed to that. And then on Thursdays, we'll do Bees Biz with Paul and Brian. So keep an eye out for that on Thursday. And Tyler, something really interesting popped up in my timeline actually right before we started recording this episode. And I saw that a guy that I think, even though we're only in the second season, heading into the third, will go down as one of the all-time great Oakland Ballers in Cam Buford, has just signed with Sioux City, which is a different team and a different league entirely. So, Tyler, what can you tell me about Cam and his decision?
Well, let's start on the overview first. So Cam signed with a team in the American Association, which, if you're looking at somewhat of a totem pole, would, I think, by most folks be considered a step up due to the competition level. The Atlantic League is still sort of thought of as MLB alternative level of play. Of course, a lot of ballers went to the Atlantic League and had really nice seasons. Braden Nelson, Dondre Hubbard, Brett Barrera. But the American Association, for a lot of players, especially players who are from the Midwest, is seen as a high competitive league and a place you want to be if you're in independent baseball. There's no clock like there is in the Pioneer League and the American Association, so you have guys who have played at the major league level in places like Kansas City or Milwaukee that are, you know, bigger markets, major league markets, and do attract talent that is not necessarily guys right out of college. So you will have guys like a Keon Broxton, Chris Herman, who's a former A, and you'll be playing with those players as teammates and against them. So for Cam, who I think has proved his ability to hit pitching at this level, to really dominate this league, there's a couple questions you have to ask yourself. Excuse me. You know, you're right out of college. You have not really maybe a very good idea of how you want to navigate this non-drafted status you have, because, you know, as a guy who did what he did at the college level, you lead a program all-time in home runs. You think, well, I'll get drafted. These teams are talking to me. I'm turning in these info sheets to scouts. I'm going to wait to hear my name called. And then you don't always know what's next for you. So Cam signs with us out of the MLB Draft League. He shows he can do it here, and you can either come back, do it again, put up more good numbers, make a name for yourself, and while the Pioneer League might be an easier place to get signed out of if you want to go into affiliate system, the American Association will offer him a new challenge.
Yeah, and he definitely proved what he could do here. He strikes me, though, having gotten to know him a little bit during the season, as somebody that probably would have loved to return to the Oakland Ballers, but also really would like to be closer to home. He's from Illinois. Great family, great guy. But, you know, one of my favorite Cam Buford memories, I will say, is Game 5 of the championship. I was watching him at the plate and I just said to myself, he's going deep here. Like, I literally took out my phone, I started recording, and then he crushed that thing off the batter's eye, and everybody went crazy. I mean, that's why I think Cam will go down as one of the all-time great ballers. I remember in the midst of the celebration in the clubhouse, I told him, I was like, not only did I know you're going to hit it, I recorded it. And he's like, can I see the video? I showed him the video on my phone, and he's like, can you text that to me? And I was like, sure. I texted it to him. But, man, congrats to Cam Buford. Great season, all-time great baller. And I think a guy that definitely does have a chance to someday play in affiliate ball and hopefully get up to the major league level, right?
Well, we were certainly pushing him quite a bit, and especially because of his EVs. I mean, his EVs were exit velocities off of his bat were really good, some of the best on the team. I believe his high for the year was something like 114.7. And the stat we kind of zero in on when you look at advanced analytics and when you're trying to sell a guy off to a major league team is what are not just his average velos off the bat, but his EV 90s. So in the 90th percentile of all balls he hits, what is he hitting in that top 10%?
Writing down all these notes.
Get out the slide rule. Yeah, we can do all the we can get out all the calculations. But he was up above 110. So that is, I believe, somewhat close to what is considered sort of a major league standard. So that is a very attractive proposition for a team to say, well, here's a guy, he might be sort of made out of clay a little bit, but if we mold him a little bit, we might be able to turn him into something that could shoot him up the system. So I think Cam will have a very good opportunity here. I've sent out some of his stuff to a number of teams, and his signing in this offseason will not affect his ability to get signed. He may never play for Sioux City, and I hope he doesn't, because I hope he's playing in a system somewhere by the time March rolls around. And it kind of is, for what we have helped him find, sort of a step to accomplish that anyway. But it was nice when you had a guy like Buford. You sort of waited around for a 3-run home run to be hit as a Ballers fan. That's always nice. And the funny thing about Cam, you said he is, I would say, stoic at times. He was probably one of the smartest guys from a baseball sense on the team we had last year. We said the same thing about Peyton Harden the first year, one of the smartest players on the field. And if you got to know Peyton, carried himself in a very similar way. Professional, quiet, soft-spoken, sort of did the, Teddy Roosevelt, speak softly and carry a big stick. We won the championship. We're on the field. You're probably drinking out of that trophy. And I'm standing next to Cam and his dad, and Cam's dad is next to Cam, and he goes, all right, so what's next? I'm like, geez, we can celebrate a little bit. It's all right. Like, yeah, we've got an off season. You're probably going to be fine. But no, I mean, one of the most professional guys we had, who was a rookie last year. So we will miss him. We did want to have him back, but part of what we do, part of my job, is to almost act like a second agent. Cam didn't have an agent himself. You don't need one at this level, but what is the next step for your baseball career? A lot of the times, it's to come back here because your best shot is still with us, but sometimes it's not. And you do like to be close to family. There is something to be said for that as far as your play, your comfortability, and so he'll get an opportunity to play at a good level, closer to home.
Yeah, and I think that we should really echo what you just said there and make it clear, like, we could be selfish and we want to keep Cam Buford, but really one of the most important pieces of the Ballers' mission is to bring in players, help mold them, like you said, get them up to affiliate ball, get them up to the major leagues. Like, this is what we do here, and we've had a very good track record with it so far for players getting signed to MLB affiliate orgs in the first season alone for the Oakland Ballers. So congrats to Cam Buford. I know the American Association, I wouldn't say it's much better or better than the Pioneer League, but it does get him closer to home and get him in a different spot, which could be good for him. Let's talk a little bit about off-season timing too. Before we recorded this, you'll probably get mad at me for saying this, so I won't say all of it, but we thought we might be able to announce another signing. We're getting close to being able to announce some more signings. Those will come, but so far on this one in particular, I's need to be dotted and T's need to be crossed. But as we look at the off-season timing, what is next? What are we looking towards as Ballers fans that are starving for more content as the team has hit the full-blown off-season?
So the normal cadence we see right now, as far as free agency goes, is you'll have a couple more re-signs trickle in. I think for the most part, guys who said, "Hey, I need a month off of baseball. I just need to do anything else." So they'll take a month off and they'll try to digest themselves and be like, "All right, so like let's talk next season. Now I've decided that I'm going to go down to driveline and throw, or I've decided that I'm going to get with my buddies and long toss at a facility and hit a little bit, but I want to sign a contract now." So we'll see a couple more trickle in, I think, between now and Christmas. But for the most part, most of the signings that are getting done are players who are going to make the jump to the Pioneer League, specifically players who played in the MLB Draft League last year. So last season, what you saw at this time was the Ballers sign Cam Buford, Tremaine Cobb, Darryl Buggs, and other Draft League players all before the end of 2024. We have contracts out to Draft League players now, and the ball is more or less going to be in their court. Everyone is courting Draft League players right now. That is, as far as their offseason cadence, this is the time for them to sign. Those who have agents might be told to hold off because, hey, I might be able to get you a bullpen with the Rockies in January, or whatever it might be. But you do see a lot of guys sign about now, and for Pioneer League transactions, we have seen a good little amount of movement right now. So for the most part, what you'll see between now and I think the end of this calendar year is more new names like Grant Manning, who did pitch in the Draft League last year. I think you might see anywhere from, let's say, 3 to 6 names.
Interesting. And yeah, Grant Manning, just so you know, pitcher out of Dublin, throws mid-90s, talked about him on this last podcast episode, and he is a new Oakland Baller, and we cannot wait to see him. You might see my eyes dart around a bit while we do these podcasts live, and it's because I'm monitoring the comments, and I know we will take questions at the end of the show, but I thought that this comment was interesting, Tyler, and maybe you could just answer this question about how the Pioneer League works and building the team longevity and identity, and what are the limits of what we can and can't do.
So right now, with the eligibility rules that the league has set, we are still the only of the 4 teams that sort of have the moniker of partner league, which is sort of a loose affiliation with Major League Baseball. We're the only one that acts specifically as a player development league, which historically what the league has been. The league took on a rookie status for the better part of 50 years, and a lot of young players, 18 to 21, came through here. We see a lot of guys right now, even in the World Series last night, who were Ogden Raptors or Billings Mustangs, what have you. And in a sense, we are sort of still an entity like that, albeit better talented players, older players, players who are more seasoned, usually guys 4 years of college, or guys who had been drafted and kind of failed out of the system a little bit and trying to get back in. So in this sense, nothing has really changed. And it might be the same for if you have gone to Ports games, or you've gone to San Jose Giants games or River Cats games. You do see the turnover year in, year out. You have some guys who stick around for a couple of years at the same level, but if they're staying at that level, they might have kind of plateaued or topped out, and that might be their limit. And so for this league, you really do not want to see guys sticking around for, let's say, 3 years on the same team. Now, there are guys who do, because there is the other aspect that we actually try to win, as opposed to just pure player development. So there are teams who will make decisions based off of winning, based off of comfortability factor. There are some guys who say, you know what, I really don't have it in me to go to maybe, let's say, a more competitive place on the East Coast. I enjoy my life here. I'm good. I've had a good season. I want to keep playing here. Maybe I've settled down a little bit to some extent. I'm 26. There might be something with my degree That's the next part of my life, and I'm good here. So for a couple teams, maybe the Montana teams or Ogden or somewhere else, you do see guys year in, year out who are there. For the paddleheads, you might see the same names that were there the year before that. I think for us, we have a little bit of a philosophical difference about how we want to go about it. We have a platform, which is this market, and we want to use that to its greatest extent. And so what you will see is you will see turnover, because not only will we be actively trying to move our guys on, but there will be the natural attrition of the year in, year out baseball. I mean, we had a guy, Noah Martinez, who was fantastic for us.
Yep.
Set our home run and RBI records, but at 24, he said, "I think I'm good. I've got a facility back home. I'm going to run it. I'm going to make some money. Like I want to coach." I mean, that is a decision. That's a life decision. It's not a baseball decision. And so you have other factors beyond just the, okay, here's our big board, who we want to bring back, who don't we? That's out of our hands sometimes. And I think that's sort of the reality of what we are. And where do we build the team identity and longevity? We're going to build it through the type of game we play, or as we are doing, which is the community partnerships.
Yeah, front office culture, fan culture, all these different things that we instill in this team, because, unlike most MILB, minor league affiliates, they serve a parent club, and every player on that roster comes up and goes down or does certain amounts of at-bats here or there, because that's what the parent club wants. We are the parent club in independent ball, and we are trying to win a championship every year, and that is what we're gearing up for again. So it's a little bit different. I love this. A comment from James Harris: "How do I join?" I should text him an invite.
You should text him an invite. James, unfortunately, also has used up his eligibility for the, I want to say, 10 minor league seasons he was in? 8? So.
Yeah. No, I think he more means the live stream. I think he wants to actually come on the live stream, because I texted him earlier and said he can join us, but we got started before he made it. This is a good question from Joe Horton. I've been asked by fans regularly, can you elaborate on what players do in the offseason, whether that is training, playing, or other jobs? And while you answer, I'll see if I can text James an invite.
The answer is all of the above, or any of the three. So very famously, we have said that Connor Richardson drives a Zamboni in the offseason to make money at a rink. We have other players who will go to the Australian Baseball League or the Mexican Baseball League, any number of winter leagues. Lou Helmick is on his way to Doha to play in the United Baseball League. So baseball for some is a...
Not to jump in on Lou, I just saw Michael O'Hara visiting Lou in Germany, which was really cool on Instagram.
No kidding.
I was like, wow, 2 ballers just hanging out in Germany.
Well, Lou has, I think, said to everyone, if you're in Germany, let me know. So whether O'Hara happened to be in Germany, or if he's like, well, I've got the invite, I might as well go. I mean, I would go too. Go back to my fatherland some generations ago would be nice. But it could be any of that above. I mean, some guys have internships. I know there's one player who wants to get a legal internship right now. I mean, they have their career paths in mind as well outside of baseball, and you might as well start that on the side while you can play. As long as you can be a professional baseball player, be a professional baseball player, because that will not be waiting for you ever. So that's kind of the advice we always give guys.
I'm going to do something crazy here. You ready?
A triple box?
I'm going to change the background.
Oh, no.
I'm going to switch it to triple box, and I'm going to invite James Harris in. Let's go.
Made it.
He's in.
I made it.
James, thank you for joining us.
What's going on?
Just talking and answering a lot of different questions, and we're going to talk about top priorities for 2026. But while you jump in here, I just want to hit you really quick with something very special that's happening this weekend, November 1st. in addition to the free movie night at Ramondi Park that we're hosting, Coco, in partnership with Pixar, Cal State East Bay, that morning, we're also doing our first Lil Ballers camp, which is a camp for kids 4 to 7 years old for free that you are leading. So can you just tell me a little bit about Lil Ballers camp and why you're excited to get that thing started this weekend?
Man, thanks, Casey. I'm extremely excited about this camp because it's an opportunity for us to really start rebuilding baseball from the ground up. Obviously baseball has a rich history in Oakland, and it's been driven a lot by, Oakland Babe Ruth and our little leagues, and the numbers are going down. And our goal with this camp is really to remove the barriers of what allows access and opportunity to kids to play baseball. And starting off with just being able to host a free camp and providing that access to them without any cost. All you have to do is show up. Um, it's huge. And then secondly, obviously the cost of baseball is extremely expensive. And so, um, we're in partnership with Tyson Ross, who's an Oakland native, 9-year big leaguer, and runs his nonprofit Loyal to My Soil. And he's helped us with getting equipment and resources to be able to not only run the camp, but also have gloves and things like that as well to be able to give to kids and families who are in need. Um, we're also working with Takochu, who's a nonprofit that's based out of Oakland, ran by Eric Clayton, who's been in the community for years. He coached in Oakland Babe Ruth. He was my high school coach at Tech. Um, and he has built this nonprofit around social and emotional learning, really helping grow and build young individuals from the inside out and understanding who they are and how to interact and socialize with people on a daily basis. And I think that it's a unique mix of mental and physical development between working with both of these nonprofits. And then also we're in partnership with Oakland Parks and Recs to continue to build baseball into the rec centers and invite them all out as well, as some of those kids probably haven't been around a lot of baseball. So, and obviously our incredible sponsors are, McGuire and Hester, Rubenstein, Divergent Threads, who's doing our camp T-shirts in a short turnaround time. Um, the sponsors are equally as important because they believe in our mission to continue to grow baseball as well, and so we can't thank them enough.
Yeah, I think what a lot of people don't realize too is when a Major League Baseball team leaves your market, they don't just leave the stadium behind. They don't just leave the jobs at the Coliseum behind. They also leave behind all the youth leagues and all the organizations that actually, counted on their support. So I think that's one of the most important missions with the Ballers is not just playing professional baseball, but being able to give the field back to little leagues to play on, being able to give back the field to host community movie nights and doing exactly what you're talking about, right, James?
Yeah, of course. And our agreement to the city is to not hold Ramondi Park hostage. It's for the community in as many ways as we can create. In the same way that it took the community to build it, they deserve the opportunity to enjoy it. And so I think that these initiatives with the kids and getting them involved and bringing them around the ballpark is such a unique opportunity for us as an organization and for the city, who's extremely encouraging when it comes to the efforts that we're making.
And those camps start November 1st, this Saturday. It's also
Yes.
November 29th and December 20th. If you sign up, you get signed up for all three camps, but we do want you to be able to attend all three camps because we can't keep doing a rolling sign up. So please go on our Eventbrite, check our social media. We just sent an email about it. Join those camps. I don't want to spend too much time talking without teeing Tyler back up, but really quickly, James, right before we started this, we saw Cam Buford signed with Sioux City. Tyler and I talked a little bit about Cam and what he meant to us, and the season he had with us probably will go down as an all-time great baller. Do you have a couple thoughts on Cam before we jump to the next topic?
Cam was definitely a project for us coming in. I mean, we knew what he could do offensively. I mean, he's hit at every level that he's been to. He came in and he was the third base option for us. We mixed him into the outfield. He spent a lot of time at DH, obviously, because we needed to keep the bat in the lineup, but he also helped us out, giving Almanza a day off every now and then at first as well. But truly a centerpiece to the offense, our offense, from the ability to hit 350 for average, the power he provided to the lineup with the mistake, one swing. If you were at the championship series, you saw the amount of
Yep.
light tower power that kid has. I mean, he hit 20 home runs and combine that with 20 bags. So that shows you the athleticism that he has and that he has the tools to play at the next level. And so see him move forward to Sioux City is obviously incredible. And our goal is not to really hold those guys hostage. We want to be somewhat of a JUCO in the sense of, we take pride in actually being able to move our players on and create more opportunities for guys to play at the next level. And I think that's what the Pioneer League is really about, is those opportunities for guys like Cam and amongst other guys in our organization that have really good years.
Tyler, I'm going to kick it back to you. You've been sitting and waiting a little bit. One thing we were about to talk about next is what our favorite 2025 memory was. I actually hit Paul and Brian with that on Bees Biz last week, and it was funny to hear their answers. So, for you, looking back at last year, championship season, historic season, 73-23, I know you're getting your ring sized and all that stuff. So, like, what was your favorite memory of 2025?
Oh goodness. On field, off field. I mean, this is the problem with me is I have a lot of trouble categorizing things when it comes to this kind of stuff. There, for me, I think the thing that gave me the most joy was seeing us win the first round. And that's a bit of a selfish answer because I had been to the playoffs. That was the fourth time I had been to the playoffs working in this league. And that was the first time I had ever gotten to a championship.
Wow.
So for me, to actually see us get the job done in a game that was 1-0 with no RBI, it was, for me, there's a little of catharsis there. But I would not say that's my favorite Ballers moment or my favorite funny moment. But I will say, as far as one thing that I will take away from that one almost meant more to me than actually winning the darn thing, which is kind of funny.
It is funny, but here in Oakland, we gotten used to first round defeats, so it was great to see our team win the last game of the season. James, I'm going to kick that impossible question over to you now.
I just have two moments that just keep going back and forth in my head, which is the walk off on opening night
Yep.
with Trey and the way that we came back. I want to say that is over the championship only because I felt like it set the tone for the season. Like the number, I mean, Tyler, you probably know the stat. I don't know how many games we came back, especially at home, and won from behind. Um, but it just felt like any game that was within, I don't know, 3 to 4 runs just was not close enough or it wasn't far enough. And so a sellout crowd, and for the game to end that way, you just knew it was going to be a special season, and it turned out to be that way. But then, at the end, non-baseball related, to see, there's this vivid memory of seeing the excitement for the fans and what it meant to them for us to win. So I think that memory of how emotional they were and how much passion they had when it came to winning, I think is the other one that I'm like back and forth with. But I might be leaning more towards opening day.
It's funny you kind of sparked to something in my mind because aesthetically, one thing I'll remember is watching the yellow rally towels in that first game. Because
Yes.
that to me is just that's 2012 Detroit Tigers, Seth
Yep.
Smith, that's Josh Donaldson, Coco Crisp. I mean, it's the same people in the same city doing the same thing. I mean, it's just for me that's a great continuation of that tradition.
Yeah, and actually, it's funny
No, the
that James
towels
said
were
opening
incredible.
day.
It's chills for sure.
The towels were incredible, but James had mentioned opening day, and this kind of came up when I asked Paul and Brian this. But I was saying the moment I knew we were going to win the championship is when Io Brame was doing the anthem on opening night, and then the geese flied over in perfect timing, and then later that night, Tremaine Cobb Jr. with the knockout round victory, and I was like, you know what? This is going to be a really magical year. Like it was like you could tell right from the jump. It was crazy.
The geese flyover was electric.
One of our best flyovers. Amazing that we
Very,
have had many
very
flyovers this year.
Oakland. Very Oakland. It looked arranged, and the orientation of the birds made it seem like they understood the moment.
We did. It was pure magic. It was pure magic. All right, we are just about at time. If anyone wants to jump in with last questions, feel free. James, I did want to ask though. Tyler was talking about MLB Draft League and the next pieces of this offseason coming up, and I'll just ask you, like what are we looking for, and what is coming up for this Ballers team as we're fully in offseason mode.
We're looking for winners. No, I mean, nonetheless, we're having conversations with the guys and kind of getting a feel for what their next moves are. But ultimately, we have guys that we know are going to move on, like Cam, potentially Almanza. So we want to start to fill those holes and um, reconstruct a team that's going to be really good in our ballpark, not only offensively, but um, more local talent. Because I would say that that was a core piece of our team last year, and so. Uh, we definitely want to make sure we win our area, is what I would call it, is grabbing the
Yeah.
best available guys in our area before Yuba or Long Beach or Modesto does.
I will say one thing that always becomes a little bit interesting in these off seasons is balancing loyalty with the business.
Yeah.
So we do have guys who do tell us, "Hey, I'm going to explore my options. If I come back to the Pioneer League, I'm signing with you," and that becomes sort of this February March conversation. So we can't just sit around hoping that'll happen. So there's a lot of work we have to do now, not just to sign backup plans or to make backup plans, but to actually go out and get someone who can fill that spot. And sometimes it happens where a guy holds out too long and we say, look, we have these guys that we've committed to and we really like, and now we will figure things out. But there is this dual loyalty of we'll help you, you'll help us. We'll let you have your time, but we do need a good conversation and flow with the players, because we do have to be we have to take care of what we have to take care of too.
Yeah, the chat's going wild right now. A lot of people want to say the Geese get re-signed. Ice Cold Kenny wants to be re-signed. We're working on it. We're busy, people. Don't forget, subscribe, check out Beescast every Tuesday and Thursday. I'm telling you, me and Tyler, we've committed to this thing. Maybe James will join us for more of those as well as we
Maybe every now
continue
and
this
then.
off season. Yeah, I got to keep bringing you content. Don't forget, go sign up right now on Eventbrite for Lil Ballers. Go get your free tickets to Coco. Two major, amazing free events the Oakland Ballers are hosting at Ramondi Park this weekend. Tyler, you want one more comment?
I want a little end of the show surprise question for Casey.
Ooh. Here we go.
I hate the Dodgers, and I don't enjoy the World Series if my team is not in it. But I was very intrigued by last night's 18-inning game, where we almost saw Yamamoto pitch on one day's rest and a position player get on the mound. I was wondering if you were enjoying the former battle between two Oakland Athletics in the 15th inning, and if you know who I'm talking about.
I'm going to tell you something, and it's deeply sad. Things I was watching on Monday night included Monday Night Football and the Golden State Warriors game. I'm a lifelong baseball fan, but after what happened here in Oakland, I have watched 0 seconds of Major League Baseball, and I intend to keep that going throughout the World Series. It breaks my heart, though, honestly, to say that I couldn't let myself enjoy what was probably one of the most legendary World Series games ever. Because
it was boring. Don't worry. It was boring.
Acts of one greedy billionaire. But because of all that and what's happened here in Oakland, I've watched 0 MLB. I intend to keep it that way. I'm sorry about that. I see Dr. DeViz is with me. Shout out Dr. DeViz from Reddit. So yeah, Monday Night Football, Golden State Warriors. That's what I was watching on Monday night. Sorry, Tyler.
I will
But
say,
there were two
Chris
games last
Bassett. Shout
night.
out
There were
Chris
two games
Bassett.
last night. There was the first 9, which was pretty intriguing, and then the second 9 was 0-0 with or 0-1 with a walk off homer in the 18th.
It was a spring training game that broke out after 9 innings because
Yeah.
Will Klein, who is a 2024 Oakland Athletic, faced 2022 Athletic Ernie Clement, and if you don't remember either of them, I do not blame you.
Yeah, I mean,
DFA'd before they had a chance.
I could say this is one reason, and it'll never happen in a World Series. It doesn't even happen in our postseason. Why I love the knockout round, because things just get way too weird after 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 innings. But I have personally experienced the longest day game in Oakland Coliseum history and the longest night game in Oakland Coliseum history, both while I was on the beat. I remember 14th inning stretches. The BART
Was
train stopped running, so you couldn't get home. This is what happens.
night game Moss home run off of an Angels pitcher?
I remember a Moss home run off an Angels pitcher. I'm trying to remember what the day game was. It's all a blur at this point. But I was there covering both while I was a beat writer. So that was crazy. All right, we're going to end the stream unless any of you has one more thing you want to say.
All good.
No.
Sign up.
I
Go
know.
Ballers.
Sign up, go Ballers, subscribe, check us out every Tuesday, Thursday live right here. And we appreciate you so much for watching. We appreciate all of you for coming out to Ramondi Park. You all are the best. We're here for you. Peace.